All the gun point thing they going on squad car. Me in a uniform I have point gun and call me like they are criminal. So I don't understand that. All that.
Did the officer stop you down the road?
Stop me.
Yeah. Okay. Did the officer stop you down the road? No, you have to take you if you can't take you away. No, you have to just come take my phone out of my hand. I said, did the officer stop you down the road? Did the officer stop you down the road? Did the officer stop you down the road? And that's if you answer me. Since you want to be treated like criminals, we don't have no uniform. We don't have no uniform. Police step out in the road and stop you. I want to drive left them. And then the next set of police stop and you drive left them. You should be ashamed by yourself. And the government uniform. In a government uniform, police stop you. What you say? Talk now, what you say? I'm going to get you up on the camera. Talk what you say now. What you say? What you say?
People. Que pasa, sakpa, say what they do. Welcome to Crime Time News, where the difference is in the meds. Call it news with a buzz. What you just saw at the start of this is a confrontation. Well, not really a confrontation between JCF and JDF. The JCF officer was clearly doing his job as a traffic popo, and the JDF soldiers were definitely violating the rules and laws as it pertains to traffic, as it pertains to common decency, as it pertains to violating the uniform of the JDF. So pretty much the information that I got is that these men, JDF soldier, were driving a Mark X, like you see. They were stopped by a set of popo for speeding. They disobeyed. Fly past them officer there. Apparently, those officers radio some other officers doing traffic duty down the road. They then disobeyed again. It was only until they reached at the toll booths where it seems that they might have been slowed down by the officers that were chasing them, trailing behind them, that they decided to stop. Pretty much, them never have any sorts of choice. So what this officer did, he was videotaping the whole episode to make sure he said, listen, it is going to be my word against their word. So therefore, when we have this on video, look as if it was recorded on some sorts of cell phone. Again, where is the body camera? However, it is enough detail to show you that these youths don't have any sorts of respect for law, don't have any sorts of respect for the uniform. So he asked the officer if he going to videotape him and point gun upon him as if he was some sorts of criminal. Well, the truth and the fact is that if you're acting in a criminal manner, you should be treated as such, and that is exactly what this popo is doing. Because the truth and the fact is that not because you and your friend in a some sorts of uniform, that means that you have to be soldier. Me not see any sort of identification that was given by the popo. Maybe they got it. However, if you're acting in a criminal manner, you should be treated as such. And that is exactly what this officer was doing. He was simply doing his job because you disobeyed 2 orders. Now, when we think about the JDF, Jamaica Defense Force, and we think about soldier, we think about discipline. We think about law abiding. We think about positive youths in Jamaica. People that are supposed to make a difference positively in the community for the JDF. However, we see that these youths are no sorts of different than the average criminals out there. These youths don't understand that when they took some sorts of oaths, being JDF members, it means that they are supposed to be examples. They are not supposed to be out there acting like criminal. Now just check and see what could have happened with them running from the po, blazing down the highway. You know, so them could have lose for them life, and justifiably so. But you know that they could also have crashed in other persons that were going about their legal, law-abiding business. So therefore, them could have KILL off people and also themselves. They do not look at the domino effect, the negative ripple effect of what can happen whenever you take law in your own hands and you decide, say, listen, me want to disobey the law, sorry. Now when we look at this, these youths should definitely be reprimanded by the JDF. As a matter of fact, if it was I that was making this decision, I would have definitely dismissed both of them from the JDF, because what it shows you, them now for out there a rob bank and a KILL people. However, it is a simple things. If you cannot obey simple rules and law, what is going to happen when your back is against the wall, whenever you find yourself in a very difficult situation? This is a situation in which they put themselves in the predicament that they are in. You only see it on video now because the officer actually caught them. If they had gotten away, they would have told their superior that nothing go. So even though the popo have the license plate, they would then tell them superior, say, somebody thief them car, they would then pull off all sorts of psych. So people like me say, the JDF definitely need to take sleep and mark DEATH. This is just an example of the type of human beings, JDF officers that we have. No wonder what we see going on in the street with these rogue popo and rogue JDF officers. Whenever they go into any sorts of community, they don't understand rules and laws, so therefore they are always going to violate. They are always going to give the JDF some sorts of black eye, bad reputation, put it in disrepute, point blank and period. Further on in the news, the popo in Orange County, meaning Orlando, they are perplexed as to the reason for two men, Jamaican, losing their life at an illegal nightclub in Orlando, Pine Hill Road to be specific. Based on information, it is said that at about 3 a.m., them get some call, ring, ring, ring. When them reach on the scene, it was a BLOODY crime scene. Two men were laid out like Alibaba carpets. The name of those two men, 55-year-old Errol Sylvester, known on the street as Mickey. The next person, 49-year-old Jocelyn Michael Gray. There's a funny story about Mr. Gray. Mr. Gray was just released from out of detention center, meaning Chrome. He was held on a prior case in which it is said that him use some sorts of firepiece and blaze up a man in a him hand. It seems as if, based on what I am getting, is that same man came back for some sorts of reprisal. It is said that on that specific night, Mr. Gray and Mr. Sylvester were in close proximity when an unknown, meaning the person that he conned up, maybe he sent somebody for him or he did it himself. It is said that multiple rounds of con was targeted at Mr. Jocelyn Michael Gray, the younger of the two. One of those con hitting him directly in the head. It flew through his head and hit the next man, meaning Errol Sylvester. Mickey is a name that most persons know him as. Mickey is said to be a party person. This other youth, Mr. Gray, just came out of Chrome Detention Center after he was locked up for an incident in which him conned up the man. Persons are surmising that this person came back for him. Cannot validate or verify, however, that is word on the streets. Now the people in the community in Orlando said, then hold on a minute. This is supposed to be some sort of safe community. How is it that persons are operating business and then people get DEAD? Them not check and make sure that people don't come into them establishment with any sorts of tool. However, people, here's the thing. The relevant authority in Orlando is saying that this business is registered as some sorts of tax business, so therefore them do income tax. Only to realize that this business is not actually some sorts of tax business. This business is what we call an after-hour party establishment. So therefore, after the club them lockdown tour, whatever time them lockdown in that specific era, them have some sorts of party illegally. The Pope are also saying, whenever you have these illegal establishments, it is a drawing for people that are in illegal stuff. So therefore, people's lives are going to be in jeopardy. Since this incident, it is said that the relevant authority is going to change the rules because as it stands, it is only a misdemeanor for stuff like this for persons operating business contrary to their license. Now, people, this is Jamaicans. They always find some sorts of loophole. However, whenever people, especially two people, DEAD in your business, you are going to be held liable whether you like it or not. So people, at the end of the day, this is because of some sorts of reprisal. Imagine you go out to have a good time and then you end up lose your life, get hit by some sorts of stray because of some sorts of loose people. So there are two pictures circulating all over social media. One with Mickey, the older one, 55-year-old in happier time, dressed up in a party outfit, look like some sort of Versace outfit. Very, very colorful. However, the sad thing is that he is now gone. The second picture is of the intended target, or actually the targets. You could see him laying on the floor, face down in a white shirt and blue jeans, all sorts of Red Bull, water and the buckets, and hookah. That is some sorts of liquid smoke device that they use in the clubs. It has some sorts of sweet scent. A whole lot of women always have it. So therefore, it seems as if as soon as him ordered that and the person walked up, that was when the assailant walked up and put a couple of rounds in him, specifically in the head. So one joyous picture and one not so joyous picture. Only Jamaican, anywhere they go, the same sorts of BS. Point blank and period. Further on in the news, this one is called the JLP followbackers. They're going to get in their feminine feelings once again. Now there's been a big controversy brewing in the Parliament, JLP versus PNP, where the leader of the opposition, Mark Golden, that is, he said that there's a conflict of interest with Mrs. Juliet Holness being the Speaker of the House and Andrew Holness being the Prime Minister. However, there's even more controversy because then we hear Dr. Horace Chang come out and say, listen, there was no sorts of reports that was supposed to be tabled from the Integrity Commission. Obviously, the Security Minister does not listen, and even if he does not have a whole bunch of comprehension skill. Because what Mr. Golden said is that there are reports from the Integrity Commission. He was not speaking about the Integrity Commission. He was talking about reports from the Auditor General. Two very important documents report that were supposed to be tabled, one in December and the next one in January of 2024. December of 2023 and January of 2024. We are now presently in March going towards April. So therefore, 2 months, not none at all, diddly squats. The Auditor General, Mrs. Monroe, even came out and said, yes, she got back some files that she sent in December and January. They came back in March. And then she said she was going to send them back, which she did. Now, people, one thing that we know about these corrupted politicians, JLP and PNP alike, we are speaking about the JLP in this case, Mrs. Juliet Holness. They are always wrong and strong. They will lie. Instead of doing some sorts of proper damage control, take responsibility, accountability, they are going to blame somebody else. There's going to be some sorts of blame game. So now we see that she is pointing a finger at the clerk of the Parliament, Mrs. Curtis. She is now saying that she's going to reprimand. As a matter of fact, she sent a letter of reprimand to that lady for dereliction of duty, a big word that only 10 subject men have. So therefore, me no know, some sort of smart person at the comment section, since you always know everything, tell me exactly what that mean. However, the people that are political, sensible people, them say, it is not your job. You don't have such power to send any sorts of letter of reprimand for dereliction of duty to this person who is the clerk. That is way above your pay scale. Know yourself, stay in your lane. So like I said, people, these persons are always wrong and strong. When them lie, them not come and clarify, them come and deny. Because based on the policies, the protocol, you as a politician were not given that sorts of power to send any sorts of reprimand to any sorts of civil servant or any sorts of administrator. There is supposed to be some sorts of meeting, some sorts of disciplinary action or committee that makes that decision. That decision is not for you to make. However, what this speaks is about the confusion and the lie and the corruption and the disarray in which these persons, meaning the Speaker of the House and the Prime Minister, are. They do not even know the rules and law. So how is it that you are going to be a lawmaker and make laws and rules for the country when you yourself do not know basic law? People, this is simple mathematics. You do not have to be the sharpest tool in the shed to see that these persons are wrong and strong. And this is yet a next perfect example. If you don't have your head up your ASS, then you'll know exactly what I am speaking about. Wrong is wrong and it cannot be justified, whether you are PNP or JLP, point blank and period. So anyways, people, thanks once again for checking out my video. If you appreciate videos like these, please show your appreciation by liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing to my channel. That is how YouTube promotes videos like these to like-minded, sensible persons like yourself. And last but not least, please subscribe to my next channel. It is called Jamaica Dancehall Source. I'll be pinning the link to that channel in the description of this video. Bless up.